I have been I have been making YouTube videos for over 9 years now, and it's a long and arduous process. It's one of those things that I never really had a full system for, but I think I have my things down. I don't have a DSLR, my tripod is dying, and I've been doing this for more than 9 years. Hi, I'm Nimrovv, and this is how I make my videos. Almost all of my videos start off with a script because I cannot do anything without a script, especially for videos that require a lot of neurons. Although, I would sometimes film the B-roll before I start writing the script so I can fully visualize the elements that I'm trying to put in. I can ad-lib, and I've been doing this most of the time during my class reports, but for videos like this, it takes a lot of neurons for me to function. My scripts would often take too long for me to write because of the amount of procrastination that I would be doing on a daily basis. So, if I were to ask you, what do you think I'd be doing most of the time? That's right, if I can't write a script, I will fall asleep and I will work on it again the moment I wake up. On a good day, a script will be written within the first 2 hours of the day, and a few revisions will happen throughout the day, especially if I think that the script is not good enough or if I notice that something is off. It takes around 2 to 3 revisions depending on how motivated I am, which is I sometimes go overboard. If we are talking tech videos, I try to make sure that they don't reach the 8-minute mark, and for videos like this, I could probably max out at around 10 minutes, but it depends on how long this video is gonna take. I could make longer videos, but I do not see the point of yapping into the endless void, especially if I know that my audience retention isn't that great. Once the script finishes bullying me into submission, I move on to the voiceover. I record my voice using this mic, the Pseudotac ST600. It's a great mic, which is somehow unavailable in the Philippines nowadays, which is quite interesting because this mic that I'm using, the one that you're hearing my voice with, is one of the best mics that I've bought. Also, the software that I use for most of my videos is just Audacity. I don't use any other audio software because this just does the job for me. I record my audio here, and sometimes if it's a quick 5-minute script, for some reason it reaches 7 minutes because of the amount of errors that I make. If you're going to be watching most of my videos, those take too long because I would stutter, I would mispronounce a word, or suddenly my mind autocorrects what I'm reading and I just read wrong. After recording my voiceover, I start editing it. I've done a few keyboard shortcuts to make sure that my process runs faster. I select the first 5 seconds of my audio, option 1 to get the noise profile, option 1 again to reduce noise. I select the entire project and hit option 2 for increased bass and treble, and option 3 for a hard limit so my audio doesn't spike. And one of the main struggles actually when I'm recording a video is this is what it sounds like on a regular basis. This is genuinely stressing me out. The third step of my process is video recording. For my videos, I use this bummed out tripod that I got from Lazada whose legs are already given out. I only use my iPhone whenever I'm recording a video, but I genuinely want to get a mirrorless or a DSLR, but I don't think I can afford that as of the moment. For my camera settings, I have the grid on and I record at 1080p with only 60 frames per second. If there's one thing that you should know, I do not have lights. I just work with the curtains and the timing. I record clips at around 12 to 4 p.m. because that's when the light hits the window of our house. I play around with curtains and towels to see what type of lighting would match better when it comes to recording my videos. For most reviews, I just put it on this old table that I got during the pandemic, and it's still holding up amidst all the trials and tribulations that it has, well, went through. But I'm also thinking of upgrading my desk because this is not good enough for most of my videos, and you could see the wear and tear in most of them. But I'm actually waiting on and holding off on buying something because I might get a desk soon, plus I might have my own room. This is the part where it more or less takes an entire day for me to finish because after recording most of the clips, which is around 30 to 50 clips, I start putting them all in CapCut, which is my video editing software. I might switch to DaVinci because CapCut is now exhibiting biblical levels of greed. Honestly, I'd rather have 3 continuous unskippable ads by the end of the export because I will not sit down and think that I need to pay someone or the software company just to extract a little bit of audio. I put the audio first and then the clips on top. This is the part where I struggle the most because I lack B-roll from time to time and I have to reuse some of it. So what I do in order to reuse some of it, I just get an existing clip, put a blur effect, and then I overlay another clip, scale it down to 75%. Sometimes I would record a few screen recordings of the websites that I got my items from, and I would also be opening YouTube Studio whenever I'm trying to reference an old video that I had. For color grading, I try to make sure that my videos are, well, filmed in like a cloudy setting. After I finish up with the rough cuts, alignment of clips, and color grading, I move on to music. I prefer using lo-fi music because it feels more cozy that way. I've tried to achieve a chill vibe, like something along the lines of a friend inside a coffee shop trying to convince you to buy the latest type of tech, or someone who's just gossiping with you inside a coffee shop. I go for artists like Lucrembo, Massobeats, and Chill Peach. I'm still looking for other channels that provide good quality lo-fi background music, so if you have any ideas, comment them down below. My mouth is starting to lose its grip. Thumbnails take a short amount of time in editing. For reference, I use Canva whenever I'm doing my thumbnails, and I take pictures during the video recording process, especially if the lighting is nice. But if this instance that I'm recording and it's not that great and the lighting is a bit off, I would take pictures on a separate day. But most of the time, my clips are recorded well because of course I am glazing myself, so I take screenshots of the clip that has the best look. Whenever I'm editing the photos for my thumbnails, I apply the Nordic filter because it looks like a cloudy day. Again, the cozy vibe that I'm trying to go for. For tech, I only try to do 3 or solo picture thumbnails, and for vlogs, I use 4 pictures for the thumbnail. For the elements within the video, I put a few arrows, a sparkle thing here on the side with low opacity, and just a little bit of text. I add the main text, which is the name of the product that I'm reviewing, and a small arrow that points to the product with Hangul written all over it. And no, I'm not a poser. I'm slowly trying to learn Korean, okay? Plus, I add it because it looks aesthetically pleasing. Overall, from planning to uploading, it takes about 3 to 4 days depending on what type of motivation that I have for that day. But on rare occasions where I decide to lock in, it takes about 2 days for everything to be finished in its entirety. I haven't had a streamlined process on how I can further improve my video production or make it more efficient, but this is good enough that it's quite sustainable. On a good day, it's the greatest, but on the bad day, it's the worst process that you can have. There's a lot of work that's needed to be done, but for now, it is good enough. And so, that's all for my video. That's how I make my videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!